Lançamento do documentário do Sérgio Tavares, o The Fake Judge, aonde ele desmascara e mostra a realidade do maldito juiz perseguidor de brasileiros e estrangeiros, porque Sérgio sobrou na mão dele lá em Guarulhos, no aeroporto de São Paulo. E a gente tá aqui, cinema lotado, como vocês estão vendo aqui, ó, só gente bonita. Valeu, galera! Olha a provocação. Vocês gostam de Alexandre de Moraes? Tá vendo aí? Bom, daqui a pouquinho vai começar aqui o documentário do Sérgio. Tá todo mundo na maior expectativa aqui.
My name is Sergio Tavares. I'm an independent Portuguese reporter who was arrested and interrogated by the Brazilian Federal Police at Guarulhos Airport in Sao Paulo on February 25th, 2024, when I was covering a demonstration for freedom on Avenida Paulista. My crime? I never knew. I was never told. They simply took me for several hours and questioned me about political issues, about elections and Supreme Court justices. What is your opinion of democracy in Brazil? What is your opinion of Alexandre de Moraes?
I have nothing to say.
What do you think about Flavio Dino?
Nothing.
Do you think Brazil's electronic orders are reliable?
I already told you. I don't have nothing to say.
But why on earth should Brazil's judiciary be interested in my opinion on these matters? And there I was, alone, just arrived in a Latin American country, and wondering, in disbelief, not knowing what was going to happen to me, where they were going to take me. Will I be arrested here in Brazil for my opinions? Will I be deported and prevented from covering the Freedom Rally? Will they kidnap me? Make me disappear without a trace? All sorts of scenarios were running through my head. However, I had a guarantee. I was sure that the world already knew I was there and what was happening to me, because before I was taken to the police station, still at immigration, I managed to send messages to thousands of contacts and published a video on my Instagram, warning that my passport had been taken away and that I didn't know why they were doing this to me. This video quickly reached the press, which began to question the legitimacy of this arrest. Meanwhile, a lawyer arrived to provide me with legal support, Dr. Eduardo Borgo, who was instrumental in ensuring that I remained silent until the end. I also breathed a sigh of relief when I received a phone call from the Portuguese embassy, assuring me that they were aware of my situation. Finally, the federal police officer stated that there were no charges against me, and that I would be released. I left Guarulhos Airport with my face plastered across every newspaper and television screen in Brazil. At the same time, 1 million people waited on Paulista Avenue for the start of a massive demonstration for freedom and against the dictatorship of the judiciary. My face was also on the screens of every cell phone belonging to the protesters, who were celebrating the release of the Portuguese man who had come to Brazil to give them a voice. However, Given the media coverage my arrest received, the federal police felt compelled to issue a statement a few minutes after I was released. They said that it was just a standard procedure to check if I had a work visa. However, this explanation was completely false, because at no point during the interrogation was I asked about my visa. All the questions they asked me were related to politics, and the federal police had just made a huge mistake. They forgot that they had handed me the report signed by the police chief with all the questions, which did not contain the word visa. They had simply been caught in a lie. Furthermore, even if the arrest was to check my visa, that would also have been a huge mistake, as this situation did not apply to me as a Portuguese citizen, and under no circumstances could they have questioned me about political issues, as was even criticized on Brazilian